Welcome to the Puget Sound Castaways. Number 1-1, Melvin Dictive. Number 1-6, Dragulara. Number 1-8, Mai Tai Smasha. Number 1-9, Dainty Disaster. Oh, another number 1-9. Wheelie Dan. Wheelie Dan, right there. Number 182, Nova. Number 20, Agony Christie. Number 290, Babyface. Number 314, Senpai. Number 369, Global Storming. Number 56, Block Girl Magic. Number -60, Braun Burgundy. Number 826, Medazza Slam. Number 93, Malibu Zombie. Let's hear it for your Puget Sound Outcast Castaways. Let's give it up for our home team, the Lilac City Lore. Number 11, Daddy Hood. Number 111, Sweet Tea. Number 12, Mad Hatter. Number 120, oh, whoa, Hatter's taking her time. Number 120, Patellar Pain. Number 13, Rainbow Fright. Oh, we forgot. Number 2, Megatron. Number 20, Daisy Deckham. Number 21, Masato Her Demise. Number 22, Wildebeest. Number 326, Match Strike. Number 413, Lumberjack. Number 44, Brodozer. Number 625, Betty Knocker. Number 69, Amber Waves of Pain. Number 88, Make You Remove. And number 9, Getty Lisa. Let's hear it for your Lilac City Lore. If you're watching now on the live stream, you're already following our YouTube. If you're not, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us also on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for all the latest Derby events and content. To check out our rosters, learn how to sponsor us, more information about our league, head to LilacCityRollerDerby.com. It looks like this first jam is going to be number 44, Brodozer for the lure. Taking on number 369, Global Storming. It looks like Global Storming has lead. 4 points for Global Storming. Here comes Brodozer trying to get through that pack. Those two blockers are reforming. Catching him, he's through. 4 points for Brodozer. Global Storming with an apex jump there, snagging another 4 points for the Outcasts. Brodozer's caught up on those blockers again. A little help from Betty Knocker. He's through the pack. Global Storming cannot be stopped. Heading through the pack again, collecting another 4 points. That's a 12-point jam for Global Storming. Snagging that last couple points and calling it off. Jam 1 is over with 12 points Castaways, 8 points Lure. Here we have Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter for the lure, taking on we got a little bit of a pile up there. Hatter is through. Mad Hatter has lead. With number 290, Babyface for the Castaways, hot on their tail. Looks like one of the blockers heading to the box. Has a big hit. Daddy Hood holding him up. A little help from Sweet Tea. Hatter's coming back around to snag another 4 points. She's through that pack like nothing. Calling it off. Ooh, big hit on Masato there. Looks like we've got Wheelie Dan for the Castaways against Megatron for Lure. Megatron right up that outside line, through that pack like it was nothing. Wheelie Dan coming back around. A little barrel roll from Betty Knocker there. Oh, nope, that was Daisy. A little barrel roll from Daisy. Mega's calling it. Current score here is 19 for Lilac City Lure and 16 for the Castaways. Got patellar pain, jamming for the Lure. Taking on Global Storming, who's through as lead jammer. See if that tripod can hold him. Nope, he's down and around. That move's called a bean dip, when you dip down low and slide right past those blockers. See if he does it again. Right through the pack. Here comes patellar pain, taking off that panty for a star pass to Wildebeest. Wildebeest is out of the pack, coming back around. Global Storming, getting held up a little bit on Daddy Hood. And calling it before Beast can get to the pack. Global Storming was raised here in our Derby world on Cherry Bomb Brawlers Junior Roller Derby. It's real fun to see him back here in our hometown. We're a little sad to be taking him on because he was such a good skater. We're really hoping for a meet-up between Mad Hatter and Global Storming because they were junior buddies together. little reunion hopefully will happen tonight. We've got number 182 for the Castaways, Nova, through the pack, and lead jammer, followed by Make You Ramon for the Lure. Nova takes that inside line around. Calling it off right before Ramon gets a chance to come through again. Ramon does snag those last 4 points with that little bean dip move right before that whistle. Here we go. Wheelie down for the Outcasts. Lead jammer. Brodozer fighting through, getting hung up on some hips here. That's a nice big hit and a jump over. Wheelie Dan coming through on his scoring pass. Snags. Up. Beast hits him out. Doing a jammer run back here. Heading into the next jam. Castaways 34, Lure 30. Jam 7 is live. Hatter jamming for the Lure, getting hung up on some bodies there. And we've got Global Storming coming through, lead jammer. It's that reunion tour we're hoping for. Can Hatter catch Global? Want to give a quick thank you to all of our sponsors for Lilac City Roller Derby. If you are interested in sponsoring Lilac City Roller Derby, having your logo featured here on our live stream, or your posters hung at our event, or highlighted on our social media, head to LilacCityRollerDerby.com for more information. Megatron through the pack for Lure, lead jammer status. Followed by Babyface. Beast making holes for Megatron. That's a big hit on Babyface and a barrel roll. Megatron gets hit out and she's calling it off. That was another 4-4 jam, giving Lilac City Roller Derby 34 points, Castaways 42. We're heading into jam 10. This is a fast-paced game. We've got 21 minutes left, and we're already on the 10th jam. We've got Patellar Payne through the pack as a jammer for Lilac City Roller Derby, and Danny Disaster for Puget Sound Outcasts. Danny has lead, and Patellar Payne has headed to the penalty box. This is what we call a power jam. One jammer on the track, one team trying to hold their points. Great lateral movement there by Getty Lisa. Dainty Disaster is through the pack for another 4 points. Patellar Payne is back from the box. Heads right up that outside line. Can she make it? Go, Patellar, go. Dainty Disaster getting another run at some points. getting caught up, calling it off. Teller Payne was able to snag 4 points right at the end, right at that last whistle. The Castaways, was a 14-point jam, bringing our score going into the 11th jam to 56 Castaways, 38 Lore. Here we go. That whistle started the jam. We've got Global storming through with lead. Make Your Ramon coming up on that inside. He's out too. Ramon isn't quite able to catch up. We're lining up a Rodozer for the Lore. And we have Nova, number 182 Nova from Outcast. Nova gets a low block and is sent to the penalty box. Rodozer through with lead jammer status. And lead is removed because Brodozer has a cut track. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a jammer swap. Brodozer sits down, Nova is released. You might notice in roller derby that you can't play the game unless you have a jammer. There's a special situation where one jammer is in the box, the other jammer gets sent to the penalty box, and the first jammer to the box gets to escape for free. It's like a get out of jail free card, if you will. That way we can keep playing derby instead of just standing around looking silly on skates. Brodozer with an apex jump. Coming around to snag 4 more points. Nova hitting the pack. Big hit onto Lumberjack. Nova's through for another 4 points for Castaways. Dozer through for another 4 for Lore. Lots of slipping and tripping there. Everybody's back up and back to derby. Looks like we've got a timeout for Lore. Timeout's a great time to talk a little bit about some of our fantastic sponsors. Marambo is a player on Lilac City Roller Derby. She's a fierce roller derby skater by night, but by day, she's an even more fierce real estate agent. If you're ever in the market for buying or selling any real estate, she's the one you want on your team. You can email her at homewithmiranda@gmail.com for all your realtor needs. Miranda O'Halloran is the official realtor of Lilac City Roller Derby. Are you tired of feeling like a Sasquatch, that leg hair or unwanted body hair getting you a little itchy? Go see our friends at Spokane Electrolysis, the only FDA-approved permanent hair removal procedure located conveniently in Spokane. Spokane Electrolysis, oh my goodness. Slipping and tripping on that word. Spokane Electrolysis specializes in gender-affirming hair removal. For safe and inclusive permanent hair removal, visit Spokane Electrolysis today. Here we're coming up. End of a timeout. We're ready to start our jam. It looks like Hatter is starting a little bit behind the pack to get a little head start for some speed. Here they go. It is a Power Jam Lilac City. That means the Puget Sound Outcast Jammer is in the box. Hatter's through with lead jammer status. Going to try for some points here. Nova, the jammer from Puget Sound, is out of the box and heading back towards the track. Hatter's trying to get through and snag those points. Hatter's coming through again, trying to snag some points. Nova is through, getting some points too. Hatter calls the jam off. That gives us Puget Sound Castaways 75 and Lilac City Lore 62. It's a close game still here at Lilac City Roller Derby's SMASHTEMBER final game of the season. Final home game of the season. Looks like we have an official review. In roller derby, if your coach or captain notices something they think was maybe missed by our officials, they can call an official review. They can question a call that was made or a call that maybe wasn't made by the officials. They can argue their case. The officials will discuss it. If anybody saw what happened, had some input on it, they'll make a decision. You get a couple official reviews, 2 official reviews each half. Looks like Loco is not sure what's happening with this official review. Maybe Rex will tell us. She's the in-house announcer. Well, it looks like the Puget Sound Outcasts have called an official review, hoping for a cut track penalty to be assessed to the Lord Jammer, Mad Hatter, from the last jam. We'll see if anybody had eyes on it. Unfortunately, they don't have the ability to come back and review our live stream content for an instant replay. While they're discussing, now's a great time to talk a little bit about another one of our community partners, the Garland Theater. The Garland Theater opened in 1945, and they've been providing memorable movie experiences for Spokane audiences ever since. Keep your eyes peeled on our social medias for an event coming up in November where we'll be hosting a roller disco movie night at the Garland Theater. It looks like that official review was overturned. No cut track penalty was awarded. We have Global Storming for the Castaways taking on Megatron for the Lore. Global is through. Mega gets hit out in a run back. Mega's working to get through that wall of blockers. Global does a spinning apex jump to get through the pack and collect 4 points. Now he's just showing off. And Global's going to call it before a chance for Megatron to get that scoring pass. Heading into Jam 15 here. We have the Castaways at 75 and the Lilac City Lore at 62. Looks like we have a timeout, Lore. This timeout's a great time for me to tell you about another one of our amazing community partners. The Garland Drinkery is a veteran and women-owned bar that's a favorite spot for Lilac City Roller Derby. They welcome all people over 21 to come and enjoy great music, karaoke, DJ, fun cocktails, and their amazing outdoor patio. They've got the friendliest staff. If you head to the Drinkery, you might just get to share a beer with one of your favorite derby players. If you're looking for something to do next weekend in Spokane, you can come and find Lilac City Roller Derby at Expo Spokane. It's the Halloween Expo hosted by Lilac City Comic-Con, an all-ages Halloween themed show. Put your best costume on, enjoy the special guests, vendors, costume contests, and curated content. Expo Spokane is next weekend, October 5th and 6th at the Spokane Convention Center. Jam is on. We've got Patellar Payne for Lilac City Roller Derby versus number 290 Babyface. They're out at the same time. A little jammer on jammer action here. It looks like Patellar Payne has lead. She's just standing right in front of Babyface, slowing him down. Jammer on jammer. Everybody loves to see it. She calls it before he can score any points. If you're a big fan of Derby, you've seen a few games, or maybe you're a new fan of Derby and you've seen your friends play a couple times, you might notice some pretty big point spreads. The reason for those big point spreads is what we call the jammer call-off. That's where they tap their hips and end the jam. Your lead jammer. It's a great strategy to grab your points, tap your hips, and end it before the next team can get any. It can build up a really big lead pretty quickly. Right now we've got Make Your Ramon against Wheelie Dan. Nobody is lead jammer. It's a mystery. We'll see. I think Ramon had lead jammer, was assisted penalty and lost it. Wheelie Dan is through. Make Your Ramon is taking a little break in the penalty box. Wheelie Dan's been hit out. He's skating back around, trying to get through the pack again to get those points. Gaddy Lisa pops right back up after a nice big hit. All part of the fun in roller derby. Here comes Wheelie Dan on that scoring pass. Gaddy Lisa tries to hold him, but that Outcast offense just breaks up that wall. Ramon's back from the penalty box, getting through. Wheelie Dan sneaks through for another 4 points and calls it off. Or there is an official review called from Lilac City Lore. This is the second official review of the game, the first official review for Lilac City Lore. We'd like to give a shout out to Chaz Health, another one of our sponsors. If you need a primary care provider or a checkup, reach out to Chaz Health, the Community Health Association of Spokane. The mission of Chaz Health is to improve the overall health of communities they serve by expanding access to quality health and wellness services. Chaz Health for all your healthcare needs. Like the official review is questioning whether one of the blockers should be awarded a penalty from that last jam for the no pack failure to reform penalty. In roller derby, the group of blockers that is upright, inbounds, and closest together within 10 feet of each other is called the pack. We have to skate together and near each other in that pack formation to be able to hit your jammer. You need to be in that legal zone of play. If the pack gets split apart and there is more than 10 feet between two blockers, that is called a no pack, and the blockers must immediately make an attempt to reform that pack. If they do not reform, a failure to reform penalty can be assessed, and they can spend some time in the penalty box. It looks like that official review was won by Lilac City Lore coach Loco, and number 56, Block Girl Magic from the Castaways is going to spend the start of this jam in the penalty box. Looks like we've got Global Storming from the Castaways coming against Brodozer from the Lore. And the jam is live. Brodozer getting hung up on that wall. It looks like we might have actually stopped Global. And Brodozer is through, but he falls. Oh, Global is through with lead jammer, I believe. And Brodozer... Oh, Brodozer is lead, and Brodozer calls it. Sorry, we missed that jam, folks. There was a little bit of technical difficulty. We thought we had a lag, and maybe we were announcing 30 seconds into the future for our viewers. Looks like we are back on track now, and we will keep filling you in on all the Derby action. We've got Megatron for the Lilac City Lore as our jammer. This facing off against number 8, Dainty Disaster. Mega is through with lead jammer. Wildebeest going for Dainty Disaster. No pack is called, so she can't make contact. Here comes Megatron with an apex jump. That's been one of Megatron's goals for this season. Looks like she's mastered it. We've got Matchstick, Wildebeest holding up that blocker for that jammer. And Megatron is through on that scoring pass. Wildebeest, Masato, and Matchstick trying to form that triangle again to stop Dainty. Dainty's going to go for an attempt to follow Megatron through the pack, but Megatron's going to call it off before Dainty can snag any points. Heading into Jam 20, 95 Castaways, 74 Lilac City Roller Derby. We've got Patellar Payne as our jammer, facing off against Global Storming. Big pile up there. Lots of falling and tripping, and Global Storming is through. He is not lead jammer. Looks like the jam is called for an injury. We're just taking a medical timeout right now while our medic assesses our skater. Lilac City Roller Derby, or all roller derby, is a full contact sport. That means hits happen, spills happen, falls happen. It's all part of the game. Every roller derby game has trained medical staff here to respond to any emergencies for just this reason. Hopefully it's just a little bump or a bruise, and we'll be back to derby in a couple of minutes. That skater is up and headed back to the bench. Because that jam was called for that skater, they will have to sit 3 jams before they can skate again, just to take a little break, recover from that injury. We have a timeout called by the Castaways, so we've got just a little bit more time till derby resumes. If you happen to be in the Spokane area on October 11th, we have our last night market and street fair of the season. Prepare for a spectacular evening of fantastical wonders, hauntingly terrific shopping, and supernaturally talented entertainment at the night market and street fair Monster Mash. Friday, October 11th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the U District Gateway Bridge parking lot. You can join your Lilac City Roller Derby team for the spookiest market of the year. Come take a selfie with a Sasquatch and see some amazing vendors that you won't see other places in Spokane. We love the night market. It is one of our favorite nights of the year. We really hope you join us. We've got 8 minutes remaining in this half. Castaways at 95, Lore at 74. Jam 21, we've got Babyface facing off against Make You Ramone. Our wall's really holding them. Babyface is through. Lead jammer status. Make You Ramone hot on his tail. Comes the next jam. Jam is live. Wheelie Dan taking on Brodozer. A little hesitation there. I don't think they realized the jam had started. Wheelie Dan took the outside line, straight up that edge. Brodozer took the inside, got hit out and recycled. Had to come through the pack again. Wheelie Dan is coming through on his first scoring pass. Brodozer is out, coming around for his first scoring pass. Wheelie Dan's been recycled, coming back through the back of the pack again. Brodozer is through. 4 points for Lilac City. That jam, the Castaways have broken the century mark. They are at 101. Lilac City still within striking distance at 83. Looks like we have another official review. I'm not sure which team called it this time. They each have one left. Now's a good time to mention orientation. If you're watching this and you think, man, roller derby looks like a ton of fun, then have we got some news for you. Lilac City Roller Derby has orientation sessions coming up in January 5th and 9th. Put it on your calendars now. Make it your New Year's resolution to join roller derby. 2025, that's your year for roller derby. Head to lilaccityrollerderby.com. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, or our TikTok for more information about our new skater orientation sessions. We offer comprehensive training sessions, no skating experience necessary. We are open to any humans over the age of 18. Looks like that official review was won by Lilac City Roller Derby, and they are starting a power jam with the Castaways jammer in the box. Mad Hatter is our jammer on this power jam. Mad Hatter is through for that initial pass. You're on their scoring pass. Mad Hatter has a track cut penalty assessed heading to the box. Hatter heads to the box, loses her lead jam status, and the Castaways jammer Wheelie Dan is released. It's a power jam again, but this time for the Castaways. Those Castaways blockers started in the back, pushing through with some chaos to try to get their jammer through. A little too much chaos, and their own jammer is knocked down. Masato taking on Wheelie Dan. Wheelie Dan pushing up that inside line, hooked up on Daddy and Beast. They're reforming in front of him, bridging out to maintain that pack integrity. Beast hits him out and runs him back. Wheelie Dan trying to come through again. Hatter out of the box, heading up the back of the pack. No one has even noticed. Oh, they've now noticed her. Here she comes. Hatter through that pack. Wheelie Dan taking a breather before approaching that pack again. Let me tell you, this wall with Daddy, Beast, Sweet Tea, and Masato is not a wall I would want to be skating against. This is actually the wall that I maybe have in my nightmares. It's the perfect combination of strength and agility. That is a tough wall to get by. Ending that jam with 8 points for Lilac City Lore and 4 points for the Castaways. Castaways at 105 and the Lilac City Lore at 95. Oh, I'm sorry, that was 12 points for Lilac City Lore, 4 points for the Castaways. If you think this looks like fun, but you're thinking maybe you don't want to hit people, we would love to train you to be a roller derby official. We have lots of experienced people. We run training sessions a couple times a year. We get trained on how to score keep or track penalties. You can be part of the action, but not afraid of getting hit. If you'd like to be a skating official, you can join our new skater orientation program. We will teach you all the skating skills you need to keep your eyes on these skaters and catch all those penalties. If you're someone who really loves following rules, this is the perfect gig for you. And the jam is live. Megatron coming up that inside line, gets hit out. Nova trying to get through the pack, getting hung up on Betty Knocker. Lumberjack with a big hit on Nova, hits Nova out, but Lumberjack goes out too, so Nova gets to keep going. Megatron is through as well. following Nova. Nova is lead, and she falls and calls it. Here in Jam 25, very end of period one, Lilac City at 105 or Lilac City at 98, Castaways 105. Patellar Payne against Global Storming. Global Storming has lead. He tries an apex jump, doesn't quite land it, has to circle back around. Payne is through. You'll see Payne took that helmet cover off, like she was going to do a star pass to the pivot, and then changed her mind and snuck right through. A great strategy if you feel like that wall's really keeping an eye on you. Lilac City Lure starting down one skater with Daddy Hood in the box. Global Storming through right at the beginning of that jam. Make Your Ramon trying to get on that inside line and getting hit out. Coming back around as Global Storming makes his first scoring pass with an apex jump. Folks, that is what happens when you do Junior Derby. You just really land those apex jumps. Make Your Ramon snags 3 points, bringing Lilac City over 100 to 102. And Castaways at 117. Just over 1 minute left in this half, meaning this will likely be the last jam of the half. Coming into jam 27. These have been some pretty fast-paced jams. Jam is live. Brodozer for Lilac City Lure. And Babyface for the Castaways. Brodozer is through with lead jammer. And Babyface is hung up on that pack. He's made it through. And here comes Brodozer on that scoring pass. Brodozer's getting a shoulder full of Nova shoulders. Brodozer calls it. And we are heading into halftime. Now's a great time to grab a quick beverage or a little snack and stick around for the second half. If you're hanging out with us during halftime, we've got a little entertainment for you. Here in just a minute, we'll have some entertainment for our halftime. Brace yourself for some sword-swinging action. The Barony of Weldsmere is here to showcase their talents. They are part of the Society for Creative Anachronism, a global nonprofit education corporation dedicated to reenacting medieval European cultures and their histories before the 17th century. These guys are pretty cool. Last halftime, we had quite a bit of entertainment, quite a bit of sword fighting, really cool armor. Pretty fun to watch. Almost as fun as roller derby. That halftime score is 105 Lilac City Lore and 117 Puget Sound Castaways. Outcast Roller Derby Castaways, I guess. This is a pretty close game. We can have a 12-point jam, we could have a 20-point jam, and we could be in the lead. That lead switch can happen in the blink of an eye. One power jam, and everything can change. Lilac City Roller Derby would like to thank you for joining us on this YouTube live stream. If you're watching, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Catch all of our roller derby games and content. Make sure you follow us on our social medias. We're Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or visit us at lilaccityrollerderby.com. Big thank you to our corporate sponsors and community partners: Spokane Electrolysis, Miranda O'Callahan, real estate agent, Chaz Health, the Garland Theater, and the Garland Drinkery. It takes a lot of community support to make roller derby happen. Events like this wouldn't happen with support from our amazing fans and our amazing sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring Lilac City Roller Derby, head to lilaccityrollerderby.com for more information. Halftime entertainment presented by the Barony of Weldsmere. Weldsmere. The Barony of Weldsmere, part of the Society of Creative Anachronism, SCA. These performers are part of a global nonprofit education corporation dedicated to reenacting medieval cultures and their histories before the 17th century. We're very grateful to have their sword swinging action as our halftime entertainment. I think their derby gear is a little bit better than our derby gear. I don't know how it would be to skate and chainmail, though. It looks like it'd be pretty heavy. But a shield might come in handy. Welcome back to the Lilac City Roller Derby SMASHTEMBER season ender. Coming into the second half of Lilac City Lore versus the Outcast Castaways. We're starting off here. It looks like Global Storming taking on Patellar Pain. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in and watching. We've got Global Storming through with Lead Jammer. Patellar Pain on that inside line taking a hit. Trying to find her way up the middle. Taking that cover off for a star pass. Got to get to your pivot to do a star pass. Global Storming coming up on another scoring pass. Patellar Pain stepping back and getting a run at it. Nova and Agony Christie were really giving Patellar Pain a run for her money here. Star pass to Daisy Deckham. Lilac City coming up the back. Global Storming has gone to the penalty box, so it is a power jam for Daisy Deckham. That is a directional penalty, I believe, on the Outcast number 290 Babyface. Daisy Deckham is through, putting on that star cover, coming around on her first scoring pass. Thank you, everyone, again for listening. I am Stranger Danger from Lilac City Roller Derby. This is my first time announcing, so if it's awkward, so am I. There goes Global Storming, just juking right past Lumberjack. Daisy coming through, taking a big hit from Nova. She's just making sure the floor was still okay. It was. She's headed back, trying to grab some points. That jam comes to its 2-minute conclusion. Daisy was able to snag 2 points for Lilac City Lore, bringing us up to 107 against the Castaways, 133. We are coming into Jam 2, second half. We've got Make You Ramone for Lilac City Roller Derby against Dainty Disaster from the Puget Sound Castaways. Make You Ramone is through with lead jammer status. Dainty is through. Dainty took that star cover off. Give us a little fake out like they were going to pass the star, draw some attention away onto that pivot, and then snuck right through. Make Your Ramone calls off the jam. 4 points for Lilac City Lore and 0 for Castaways. Make Your Ramone calling it, just inching us closer to catching up. Looks like we have Brodozer facing off against Global Storming in this next jam. Lumberjack trying to catch Global Storming. Global Storming spins around. Lumberjack does a full somersault on that outside ref lane. Both jammers coming back. Lumberjack tries to catch Global and just misses him. Global calls it off. Well, it's 4 points for the Castaways, bringing us to 140 Castaways, 111 Lure. A big thank you to all of our officials here today. Roller Derby cannot happen without our officials and volunteers. If you are interested in learning how to officiate or volunteering, please reach out to us at lilaccityrollerderby.com, on our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, here on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to catch all your roller derby content. We've got Hatter with lead jammer for Lilac City Roller Derby coming through on their scoring pass. Nova from Castaways just getting through on that initial pass. Going to come back around and collect some points for the Castaways this next time. Hatter's calling it off before Nova gets a chance to snag those points. 4 points for Lilac City Roller Derby, 0 for Castaways. 140 Castaways, 115 Lilac City. Lore is Lilac City Roller Derby's open gender roller derby team. It is our team where all players can skate. Lilac City Roller Derby has 2 Women's Flat Track Derby Association gendered teams, our open gender team, and our men's team. Lilac City Roller Derby is truly a place for anyone. If you are interested in skating, we've got orientation coming up in January. This jam, we've got Megatron sneaking through for some points against Wheelie Dan, who's also grabbed 4 points. Wheelie Dan right behind Mega. Megatron is going to snag some more points and try to call it before Wheelie Dan gets some. Betty in there with a hit right at the end, squeaking Wheelie Dan right off the track. That was 6 points for Lilac City Lore and 5 points for the Castaways. 121 to 145. And the jam is live. Global Storming. Global Storming is not out. Even though he fell, he had one hand off the track. Fun fact in roller derby, if you fall, but you only touch the outside of the track with one hand, you're technically still in. Global Storming has done a apex jump there to snag 4 points for the Castaways. Patellar Payne is still working on getting through on that initial scoring pass. Getting a little bit of trouble from the blockers there. Number 60, Braun Burgundy, holding up Patellar there with their shoulder, but Patellar makes it by. Global's going to call it before Patellar can get that scoring pass. We've got Make You Ramon facing off against that is Babyface from the Puget Sound Outcasts. Coming right behind Ramon. They're both coming through on their scoring pass now. Make You Ramon going on the inside. Babyface does an apex jump. A little bit of a pile up there. Make You Ramon has gotten a penalty. He might have come in a little bit with his helmet onto some of those other skaters. There are legal hitting zones in roller derby. You are allowed to hit somebody in the front of their body from their collarbone down to their knee pads, and the back of their body, outside of their spine, above their knee pads, up to those shoulders. You are not allowed to hit somebody in the head or the lower legs. And you are not allowed to hit somebody with your head, your forearms, or your lower legs. And sometimes that just happens accidentally because we fall weird. Right now, Ramon is back from the box. Wheelie Dan is coming through. Big hit onto Lumberjack. it is called a back block from Wheelie Dan, and Wheelie Dan is going to spend some time in the penalty box. Ramon is coming around, trying to snag some more points for Lilac City Roller Derby. Some big hits from those blockers, trying to make some holes. Ramon manages to stay upright, inbounds, and keep going for a couple more points. Ramon snags another 4 points for Lilac City Roller Derby, coming around again. Wheelie Dan is out of the penalty box, heading back from the sin bin, right as the jam is called. That was a full 2-minute jam. Lilac City Roller Derby 137 to Puget Sound Castaways 167. Oh, 138 Lilac City Roller Derby. Don't forget that last point. Thanks to our diligent scorekeepers and jam refs for making sure all the points go where they're supposed to. Looks like we have an official review called by the Lilac City lore coach, Locomotive. So the Puget Sound Castaways are leading Lilac City Roller Derby 167 to 138. That might seem like a big lead in some sports, but in roller derby, anything can happen. We could have a 20-point power jam and be right back next to them. Actually, it would be a 30-point power jam. Sorry, guys. Not that great at math. Those refs are discussing that official review. I'm still not quite sure what it's about. Official reviews are a great process where sometimes derby happens so fast the refs don't quite get an eye on something or see it and aren't sure if it was a penalty. But a little break to discuss it and a little time to think about it. Sometimes we get some calls corrected or calls made. Derby is a fast-paced sport, and it's not hard to miss things. Or sometimes things happen so fast you don't get a chance to call it. Not sure what that official review was, but it looks like it was not retained, meaning Lilac City did not win the call they were hoping to call, and they have lost their official review for the half. And the jam is live with Brodozer for Lilac City Lore. against Dainty Disaster for the Puget Sound Castaways. Brodozer's through on his scoring pass, and Dainty is still working on that initial. Brodozer getting hit out by Dainty, recycled and coming back at the pack again. Brodozer through on that outside line on one skate. Dainty Disaster passing the star off to her pivot, but Lilac City Lore was on it. They saw that star pass, they got right in his way and kept him back. Still working on that initial pass for Wheelie Dan. Running up against Sweet Tea and then right into Daddyhood, followed by Beast. Here comes Brodozer on another scoring pass. Brodozer has had an 11-point jam so far. And Brodozer has accrued a penalty. Will be heading to the penalty box. He had lead jammer status. That penalty means he has lost it, and this will be a full 2-minute jam. You might think 2 minutes doesn't feel like too long of a time, but it's a little bit different when you're up against a wall of blockers like Lumberjack, Daddyhood, Beast, and Sweet Tea. Wheelie Dan is hit out and recycled. The jam comes to its natural conclusion after a full 2 minutes of derby action. And Brodozer is going to start this jam in the box, giving the Outcast Castaways a power jam start. Looks like a team timeout before that power jam. The Castaways are fielding Global Storming as their jammer for their power jam. A wise move with how he's been skating this game. I am corrected. That is not a timeout. It is a official review. Looks like they are requesting a track cut penalty. Current score is Lilac City Roller Derby 149 to the Puget Sound Castaways 175. 17 minutes remaining in this half. Still a lot of derby to happen. Now would be a great time to thank some of our sponsors. Big thank you to Spokane Electrolysis. If you're tired of feeling like our Sasquatch covered in unwanted body hair, go see your friends at Spokane Electrolysis. Electrolysis is the only FDA-approved permanent hair removal procedure, and Spokane Electrolysis is conveniently located in Spokane. Spokane Electrolysis specializes in gender-affirming hair removal. They are a safe and inclusive permanent hair removal service for anyone in Spokane. Make sure you visit Spokane Electrolysis website for any more information. Looks like that timeout is over. Just a couple more seconds to derby. They have done quite a little switcheroo here, and both jammers are starting in the penalty box. A pretty unique situation here in roller derby. At the start of the whistle, Brodozer will be sprung from the penalty box, and the other jammer will have to sit. They have given Global Storming the pivot cover for a potential star pass. Lumberjack has the helmet cover for us. Global storming through the pack with a lot of force and right into a penalty against one of the blockers. He's heading back to the penalty box. And Wheelie Dan from the Outcasts should be freed. Here he goes. That's one of those tricky things, friends. If you do the Women's Flat Track Roller Derby Association rules test, the ABA jammer swap is in there. It's a little bit of a sticky spot. Hard to have roller derby without a jammer. That was a big hit from Daisy and a big hit from Betty. Betty's taking her time getting up. She is shaking her head, but she needs a little bit of a moment. Again, hits happen in roller derby. Looks like Betty is okay. Has declined any medical services, but because that jam was called, she will not be able to skate for 3 jams. Our medic is still assessing that skater. It will be just a minute here until we have medic eyes on the track and we can start playing some derby again. That is the end of the timeout, and this next whistle is going to start that jam. Jam is live. We've got Global Storming coming up the inside, and Hatter trying to spin around the back of those blockers. Global Storming coming in on that scoring pass now as Hatter is working to get past on that initial pass. Lots of hard hits onto Hatter there, and she just keeps going. Hatter is one tenacious skater. Here comes Global. Coming up on that outside line with some fancy one-footed spinning. Calling it before Hatter can grab some points. Looks like Lilac City Lore is using their official review for this half. I'm not quite sure what we're reviewing. It looks like Lilac City Lore Captain or Daddy Hood and Coach Locomotive are in here with that official review, requesting a penalty be assessed to one of the blockers from the Castaways. They are claiming there was a low block against their blocker or against their jammer on that last jam. We'll see if any of the refs had eyes on it and if that official review will stand. While we're waiting, we're having a little bit of, it looks like a dance-off from the jammers. A little twerking there, if you will, with Megatron and, who is that? Is that Babyface? If you guys can't tell, we're all out here having a whole lot of fun. It might look like it's a little rough and tumble, but Nobody plays roller derby if they're not having fun. That's why we all do it. The jam will be live here in just a second with Megatron facing off against, I believe, Babyface. It's really hard to see his numbers. Oh, yep, it is Babyface, and Babyface is through with a lead jam status. Megatron makes it through shortly after. They almost caught him on that apex jump. Daisy did a little bit of a hopeful butt, but she didn't quite snag him. He catches those 4 points and calls the jam. That gives us Puget Sound Castaways 187 and Lilac City Roller Derby 149. This is a heck of a game. We have Patellar Payne taking on Dainty Disaster in this jam. Dainty is trying to sneak through, but gets hit out by Masato. Jumps back in. Patellar Payne on that outside line. Getting caught up on Malibu Zombie. Patellar Payne is through with lead jam status. Dainty Disaster still working to get past Beast. And Masato gives a little bit of a shoulder there to hold her. That wall is doing a great job of rotating and catching that jammer, just holding her up. Patellar Payne working to get past that wall of blockers. 4 points. Coming around for another 4 points. Dainty Disaster has gone to the penalty box, so this is a power jam for Lilac City. Patellar Payne is passed for another 4 points for Lilac City. Patellar Payne is yelling, "I'm not tired, you're tired." Nothing like a sense of humor to get you through one of these long power jams. It is an arduous task to be a jammer in a roller derby game. Patella catches 4 points. Dainty Disaster is back from the penalty box. Patellar Payne is going to call it before Dainty can snag any points. That was a 12-point jam for Lilac City Lore, bringing us to 161 Lilac City and 187 Castaways. 13 minutes left in the second half of this SMASHTEMBER season ender. The jam is live. We have Make You Ramon against Global Storming. There's a little bit of a pile up, and Make You Ramon is through the pack first with lead jammer status. Global Storming hot in pursuit. A little jammer on jammer love there with a big shoulder tap from Global Storming. Global Storming down with a bean dip to get past. 4 points for Global Storming, and Make You Ramon is going to call it off. A fun fact about our Lilac City Roller Derby team and our Lilac City Lore team in particular, we've got quite a few couples playing. Nothing says love like giving your derby spouse a little hip check. If you're looking for something fun to do with your partner, we recommend joining Lilac City Roller Derby. We have a new skater orientation coming up in January. We're going to take a little bit of an off-season break. And then we'll be back in January, the 5th and the 9th, for our new skater orientation sessions. Bring a friend, bring your partner. It's a great outlet. It's a great exercise. We are open to all humans over the age of 18. We are a safe and inclusive place for anybody who wants to skate. No skating experience is required. And a big thank you again to our sponsors and our community partners. We're really excited next month to have a roller disco movie night with the Garland Theater. The Garland Theater believes that When you visit the Garland Theater, you're proving the magic of cinema is better when we scream, laugh, and cry shoulder to shoulder. We like to work together to reignite the passion for the Garland Theater and inspire the next generation of movie lovers. If there's something we love shoulder to shoulder, it's hits. If there's something we love second shoulder to shoulder, it's movies. Daddy Hood trying to get Nova out with that little hip check, but unable to fully get them out of bounds. Brodos are coming through. Nova trying to snag a couple points before calling it. Brodozer at the back of the pack. 2 points for Brodozer, 1 point for Nova. That's Castaways 192 and Lore 164. Points are obtained in roller derby when you pass a skater with your hips. You have to pass their hips with your hips. We've got Wheelie Dan getting hit out by Lumberjack. And Mad Hatter coming through. Wheelie Dan jamming for Outcast. Hatter jamming for Lore. Hatter is through. And assessed a track cut penalty heading to the box. Wheelie Dan still working on getting through after being recycled. Getty Lisa giving Wheelie Dan a run for his money. A couple of classic rock fans there, Wheelie Dan and Getty Lisa. Malibu Zombie breaking up some of those blockers with some pretty solid hits. Lumberjack trying to get a little hold on Wheelie Dan, but he gets past him. Lumberjack trying to chase down Wheelie Dan, but doesn't quite catch him before he's out of play. Hatter coming back from the box, straight into Malibu Zombie. Coming up on Block Girl Magic. Sneaks right past her. We've got Global Storming coming against Megatron for this next jam. Global Storming from the Castaways and Megatron from Lore hitting the back of the pack. The start of the jam. Megatron getting caught up. Tries to jump around. Global Storming getting caught on his own blockers for a second, but he's through. Megatron is having a real hard time getting past this wall. It looks like Drunken Giraffe is giving Megatron a run for his money. Her money. And Senpai had to stop and pick their glasses up. That was quite a jam. Senpai heading to the penalty box for the start of this jam. We've got Babyface for the Castaways jamming against Patellar Pain. Jam is live. Babyface through that pack. Patellar Pain working hard and getting recycled here. Patellar Pain hanging back for a little jammer on jammer action. Pushes him right into Lumberjack. Lumberjack and Babyface with a big hit there. Lumberjack with a whip for Patellar Pain, giving her a little bit of extra boost around the track. Something you don't see too often in modern roller derby, the whip, but one of our very favorite things. Coming into Jam 18, Castaways 208 to Lore 164. We've got Mickey Ramone for the Lore facing off against Dainty Disaster from the Castaways. There is quite the kerfuffle there. Dainty Disaster getting hung up on the lure blockers as Ramon sneaks past those Castaways. Some tandem blocking there with Sweet Tea and Daddy Hood, but Dainty Disaster gets by. Here comes Ramon on that scoring pass with a nice offensive sweep from the Lilac City Roller Derby blockers. Those lure blockers were able to create a great hole for Ramon. Dainty's trying to get past. A little tap out, a little love tap from Daddy. And Dainty is back on the track trying to get through again. Ramon has snuck by and snagged 4 more points for Lilac City Lure. Dainty is recycled again. The Castaway Jammer, Dainty Disaster, heading to the penalty box on a cut track penalty. Oh, looks like that was incorrectly assessed, and the Jammer is back on the track. Ramon managed to sneak by in that time with 4 points. Looks like we've got a little bit of a pile up there, but everybody is back up after a quick gravity check. Ramon sneaks through for another 4 points. This is a 24-point jam for Ramon. And through again for a 28-point jam. Like we said earlier, folks, anything is possible in roller derby. Ramon sneaking through again with another 4-point scoring pass. A 32-point jam for Ramon. And that puts us at 208 Castaways to 196 Lilac City Roller Derby. This is a 12-point game, folks. I think I got my math right this time. Four minutes left in the game. We have a 12-point roller derby game. We will see what happens. We have Brodozer coming against Global Storming. Global is through. Brodozer is recycled. Good for him for noticing that skate out and coming back behind. Global catching 4 points. Brodozer through on that initial pass. Global with a giant jump. Lumberjack heading to the penalty box. Brodozer coming through, trying to get some scoring points. And he is assessed a penalty, heading to the penalty box. Global Storming does an apex jump with some twinkle toe magic there. It is a 12-point jam for Global. That's how quickly those scores can change in roller derby. Global Storming with another apex jump. Coming up on a 20-point jam from Global Storming. Here he goes trying to get another 4 points. And Brodozer is out of the box. Let's see if he can snag some points for Lilac City as well. With a little hit out. The skater who hit him out fell, which means he does not have to yield to that skater. He's going to keep going. Lumberjack trying to stop Global. And that jam comes to its end. Lumberjack is assessed a penalty and heading to the penalty box. He will start the beginning of the jam in the penalty box. He had a wee bit of a back block there. We have 198 Lilac City Lure to 232 Castaways. That was a 24-point jam for Global Storming. It is Mad Hatter taking on Nova in this next jam. Mad Hatter getting a little dance party going, amping up the crowd. A big thank you again to all of our volunteers that make this event possible. We have amazing volunteers and teammates here at Lilac City Roller Derby, and none of this would be possible without our amazing crew. Had her still having a little dance moment there. She's amped up and ready to jam. And the jam is live. Nova is through with lead jammer status. Had her right behind her. They're coming around on that scoring point. Lilac City blockers trying to get to the front of the pack. And match strike is assessed a cut track penalty. The jam is called by Nova, meaning the next jam is going to start with 2 Lilac City blockers in the box. Mega is our jammer coming out. Looks like we've got Betty Knocker and Getty Lisa heading out as our blockers for Lilac City. We've got Global Storming as the jammer for Castaways. Let's see if Getty and Betty can hold off Global until a couple more blockers can join. And Global is up on that outside line through the pack. Mega is fighting through those Castaway blockers. Betty here giving Drunken Giraffe a couple good hits, getting him out of the way. Mega is through. We've got 1 minute and 18 seconds left, which means we have time for one more jam. Lilac City Roller Derby 200 and Outcast 242. 1 minute left. Getty made it onto the track just in time for that first whistle, which means she gets to skate. Beast is jamming. This is Beast's first time jamming this game. Beast is one of our OG skaters. She has been assistant coaching this year and has come back into skating for this season ender. Beast got lead and called it. The time clock has run out. If a team calls a timeout, we can force one more jam. If nobody calls a timeout, then the game will be over. We are waiting with bated breath to see what happens. And it looks like the game clock has expired. That is the end of the game. The unofficial score stands at 202 Lilac City Lore to 245 Castaways. The Castaways take a win. Congrats to both teams on an amazing game. That sure was a lot of fun to watch. Time for a little celebration and high fives to the fans. Thanks so much for joining us. Lilac City Roller Derby SMASHTEMBER season ender. Make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube to catch all our derby content. Follow us on social medias on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as Lilac City Roller Derby. Thanks for all your support. Thanks again to all our fans and volunteers. This event would not happen without all of your support. You make derby happen.